Hi friends, welcome back. So we're talking money, stocks, and the stock market. And question for you, is it hype or is it fundamentals? And that's a question you want to ask yourself in this market, because there's a lot of hype out there and very few things trading on fundamentals. And so you can certainly make money on hype. I've always told you guys that, but you have to know which market that you're in. So the first one we're gonna be talking about is Tesla. It's always fun to talk about Tesla. And the question is it hype or is it fundamentals? Now, much of the value of Tesla stock is based on the idea that it's gonna grow crazy amounts in the future, and also to the idea that FSD is going to be awesome and everyone's gonna subscribe to that thing. Now, regarding Tesla and FSD, FSD actually stands for full self-driving. Although the name says full self-driving, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. You can name something like, you know, super flying car, but it doesn't necessarily mean the car is going to fly. Now, regarding FSD, they're in version 12.3, but it's still not actually completed to the autonomous 5 level that they want. It's kind of like these fish right here. So you see these fish here. These fish are not fully cooked. I think they're hanging out to dry. And if you try to sell these as fully cooked fish, it's not going to work. I can see the fish for myself the same way I can see FSD. It is not yet there. However, the question is, are people willing to pay $199 a month in North America for something that's not quite there? Now, Elon Musk is telling employees, he recently just sent out an email saying, hey everyone, anytime you deliver one of these things to a customer, you have to demo the FSD to make sure that everyone knows how awesome it is. And then after that, maybe they're gonna want to spend $199 a month on this. Moreover, I guess current Tesla owners, you're gonna get a free trial of this thing for a month. I don't know when that's gonna roll out, but basically he feels like, hey, if you get a taste of this thing, you really wanna give him more money. And that's the question I pose to you. Are people wanting to give him more money? Now, going back to this is that initial question in the video is this hype or is this fundamentals? And I want to think about this because oftentimes people say, well, Chris, the fundamentals of Tesla are great. And I always say, well, what are we talking about? Yes, I'll tell you, yes. Teslas sell for profit. That's true, right? They make money on their cars. They have cash in the bank. I can see that. But when we talk about like fundamentals, is also too, are you getting a fair value? Are you getting a good multiple, meaning price to earnings, right? Is the price of stock good relation to the earnings, the slash profit that the company makes, also to in relation to the growth levels? Now, there are some worries for Tesla. I'll give you an example. Apple, the news just came out that iPhone sales are down in China by like 33% from last year, which is crazy down. So what is that going to mean to Tesla? Right? They're also down in their sales in China as well, and other companies are getting a bit nervous. When you talk about fundamentals, it's hard to convince me that, you know, the growth is still there when you want to be in a growth company with no growth. Now, I'll tell you a company that does have fundamentals, what it seems like at the moment is Krispy Kreme. I guess they just made a deal with McDonald's, and McDonald's is going to be serving Krispy Kreme. I think it's like by the end of 2025, 2026, something like that. I'm not a big Krispy Kreme donut guy myself. I grew up in Oregon. We didn't have Krispy Kreme. They actually do have them here in Korea. True story, they do. So, you know, I'll be curious what you guys think about that. If you think, you know, when people go to McDonald's, they're going to be buying tons of Krispy Kreme. Now, my understanding is that McDonald's is trying to get into the sort of cafe space, so they've been opening up new branches that sort of like want to compete more with Starbucks. Actually, though, I have seen them around the world, though, and they do have them in Korea as well. The I think they call them Mick Cafes, something like that. And usually McDonald's does buy pretty good locations. People still go to their shops, right? Be it the regular store, be it the drive-through, be it whatever. And so when you talk about something like McDonald's, they have strong fundamentals, meaning that they make money. They've always made money, and they're a pretty good defensive play. Now, the negative of McDonald's, and I'm just talking about with any stock, you have to be, you know, understanding the business of the company. I always wonder if like Chipotle is really going to take a bite out of McDonald's, you know, market share, because our consumers going to be, you know, kind of weight conscious, these kind of things. This is just real, guys. McDonald's food is not that healthy. I don't have to explain that to you. I'm sure you know this already. Who doesn't know that? Do people care? You know, it certainly tastes good, right? They've been in business for years, and they're still profitable. People still, you know, buy said things. But you know, one of the things that I think is also hurts McDonald's as well is that we can deliver food a lot more than we could before. You know, McDonald's traditionally was just you drive through, you take it home, you can eat in your car kind of thing. But what if you don't necessarily want to eat in your car and you just want to say lay on your couch and you know, have food delivered to you? So I think that's a competition for McDonald's. And then also too, prices for McDonald's is actually really high right now. It's actually interesting. I know in some markets, I think it was Connecticut, was it the Fairfax or Fairfield County? I always forget the name of that place. I've been there, I just always forget. It's where New Haven's up there and other places. But there's like always been these things on the internet, like hamburgers are really expensive there. Like it's like $15 hamburger over like a meal for 20 bucks at McDonald's. So I'll be curious how that affects sales if consumers are willing to do that. One of the things too, which is actually really interesting regarding that kind of thing, is you know, how much tolerance does consumers have. I guess the price of cocoa is up really high right now, so you're not going to feel it quite yet, but coming soon. There's been like a shortage of cocoa. I know we never talk about cocoa on this channel. I guess there was some sort of disease with the crops or something like that. And the question I was thinking about is chocolate a defensive play, meaning that regardless if the economy is up or down, people always buy chocolate. Now, defensive meaning things that people buy no matter what. Traditionally it'd be something like medicine or, you know, drugs, because if I have, we'll use the example of diabetes. If I have diabetes, I'm going to buy my insulin no matter what, regardless of what the economy does. Coca-Cola tends to be like that as well, those kind of companies. And we'll see if chocolate is one of those also. Now, I want to go back to the original question, is it hype or is it fundamentals? So for me, McDonald's has always been pretty much fundamentals. I mean, it's the company's profitable. You can predict the growth pretty well, and you can easily compare the multiples from today to the past. And we talk about multiples, that's the price to earnings ratio. Something that's more difficult to compare, and these are two companies that recently went public. One is Reddit, which is an interesting one, and the other one is Trump's social media, which has been total hype. You know, why is it total hype? So I was looking at the numbers here, and this is again talking about fundamentals. I guess the Trump company, they only have like maybe 494,000 users, which isn't really very much. When you talk about like a big company like a Facebook or something like that, I mean, you're talking in the tens of millions, hundreds of millions kind of thing. The other thing that's kind of funny too is the Trump social media thing. They're even higher valued than Reddit, which is kind of crazy. And let's say you're a Trump fan, and that's fine. You can Trump fan all you like, but you got to admit that, you know, Reddit has a lot more users, a lot more history, and actually makes more money than Trump social. So that's certainly hype based. The other thing is too, in this market, guys, you can make money on hype stuff, but you got to know what kind of thing that you're in. So meaning that if you're in a stock, and we use the example of GameStop, and you're in like a GameStop run up, and it's, you know, going from $5 to 300 or whatever it's doing, you know, don't get too greedy with that stuff. Take your profit, run away. Let other people take the risk. Let other people hold your bags, because it's clearly hype. In this market, it's funny because, you know, so many things are based on hype. Like, how do you value the price of, you know, dog coins? Like, what is the use value of that? What are the fundamentals? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what the fundamentals of Shiba Inu is. I'm not stupid or anything. It's just like, even when people try to convince me that everyone's going to be using Shiba Inu and Dogecoin to buy your next Tesla, even Elon Musk said so. I don't know. The other thing too with this market, it's hard to get good information, you know? And so this is sort of why I always tell you guys, when you hang out in this art community, we try to fact check each other. I think it's important, you know? I'm not out to just like make crap up. A lot of channels do that. I see it every day. They'll just say, oh, you know, I saw something on some random Reddit post. They don't even bother to read the full article, what they're citing, or there isn't even an article at all. They'll just say like, I heard from a friend XXX, and you have no way to fact check that thing. And like, that's why, like, you know, in our community, we gotta, you know, help each other out here. Because I would say right now, there's so much of the market is on hype. It's crazy. Like, for example, the articles I was reading, and I'm getting my morning walk here and running out of breath, but like the articles I was reading earlier this week was saying that, you know, the Fed was gonna cut 3 times, but it wasn't exactly the case. If you actually read the article, it showed that some community members think there might be 3 cuts, perhaps, right? They think this year, but the Fed hasn't done any action, so that's kind of a hype-based thing. And it was kind of odd too when we were talking about the Fed stuff. Is that, boy, I'm out of breath. Is that and actually, guys, if you want to see, we're in Toyang here. You can watch our vlogs. The view is really great, and you know, when I'm actually up here, I can exercise and just walking around. I'm not stressed out at all. And I mention that is because if you really want to sort of how can I say, invest well, do well with your time and your money, like be in a position to where you're not throwing all of your money in the market every single day to where like you're nervous that you're gonna lose everything. You know, if you have your money in safe stuff, right, that's like not crazy volatile, you can sleep well at night, and that's worth quite a bit of money. Moreover, something you'll find is when you get out and you do these kind of exercises, which went up a lot of stairs, you'll see, you'll find that like some things are not important to you anymore. Like, you know, when I'm walking up here, I'm not like so worried about the Fed anymore. I'm more worried if I'm going to trip down the stairs and hurt myself, right? Or what's the bird doing? These kind of things. You got to take your mind off those kind of things, meaning like the Fed, the things that you can't control, and focus on the things that you can control. So I know we get off on tangents from time to time, but I always appreciate you guys coming back every day. And check out our vlogs. We're in Toyang a couple more days. It's really nice. I've never been out here before, and really like it. Quite a view, actually. You guys can see. Actually, I'll go a little bit higher. You guys can see a bit better. Woo. Sun just came up at I think 6:30 is when it came up, something like that. And also too, for me, you know, and I always laugh about the full self-driving stuff. You know, for the lifestyles in many countries or many cities, you don't need a car. Like this experience I'm having right now, full self-driving is not going to help me. Gotta help myself, right? We're almost at the top, guys. Woo! See if we can make it here. Yeah, a little bit. We actually were here last night, and I wanted to come see it in the morning. So let's go over here. Yeah, there it is. City looks pretty right now, as you guys can see it. This is actually a cafe that overlooks, and we'll get a look here. Yeah, it looks nice. So I gotta catch my breath up here and enjoy the view, and like to hear from you guys. Is it hype or is it fundamentals? The particular stocks that we talked about, or the market. So please let me know, and I'll let you show you guys the view here. And it's a nice morning today. Hope you're enjoying your day as well.